Judges chapter 4. Deborah and Barak rescue from the Canaanites. But the Israelites again did what? They did evil in the sight of the Lord after Ehud died. So the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, who reigned in Hazor, who lived in Harosheth. Then the Israelites cried out to the Lord for help. For Jabin had 900 iron chariots, and he oppressed and tormented the sons of Israel severely for 20 years. Now Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, was judging Israel at that time. She used to sit to hear and decide disputes under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country. Now she sent word and summoned Barak, the son of Abonine, from Kadesh Naphtali, and said to him, Behold, the Lord, the God of Israel, has commanded, Go and march to Mount Tabor, and take with you 10,000 men of war from the tribes of Naphtali. I will draw out Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his infantry to meet you at the river of Kishon, and I will hand him over to you. And it says, Then Barak said to her, If you will go with me, then I will go. But if you will not go with me, I will not go. And she says, I will certainly go with you. Nevertheless, the journey that you are about to take will not be for your honor and glory, because the Lord will sell Sisera into the hands of a woman. Then Deborah got up and went with Barak to Kadesh. So I'm going to go back and read here. It says, Deborah is shown in the best light of all the judges in the book. She's called a prophetess, and many sought out her decisions. This reason she's called a mother in Israel. She's probably included among the leaders in Israel as she instructed Barak in his strategy of the battle. She is also a prominent author of the victory song and gave her name to a place in Israel, the palm tree of Deborah. And then Barak clearly respected Deborah as the Lord's spokesperson and wanted her to be nearby so that he could receive instructions from the Lord. It is not clear whether Deborah's response was a rebuke or just a statement, but it seems that part of the reason Israel was judged by a woman was because the men were not listening that closely to God, or willing to take the responsibility. Whatever his stage of spiritual growth was at the time, Barak did obey the Lord and is listed in the book of Hebrews as a man of great faith. That's interesting. The men were not listening that closely to God or willing to take responsibility, so he sent a woman. That's food for thought right there. That is food for thought right there. All right. Then Barak summoned the fighting men in the tribes, and 10,000 men went up under his command. Now Heber the Kenite has separated himself from the Kenites, from the sons of Hoab, and he pitched his tent as far away. And when someone told Sisera that Barak the sons of Abinoam had gone up to Mount Tabor, Sisera called together all his chariots, 900 iron chariots, and all the people who were with him, from Harosh Hagothim to the river Kishon. And Deborah said to Barak, Arise, for this is the day when the Lord has given Sisera into your hand. Has the Lord not gone out before you? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor with 10,000 men followed him. And the Lord routed Sisera and all his chariots and confused all his army with the edge of the sword before Barak, and Sisera dismounted from his chariot and fled away on foot. But Barak pursued the chariots and the army to Harosheth, and the entire army of Sisera fell by the sword. Not even one man was left. But Sisera fled on foot to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Canaanite, because there was no peace between Jabin, the king of Hazor, and the house of the Heber the Canaanite. Jael went out to meet Sisera and said, Turn aside, my lord, turn aside to me. Have no fear. So he turned aside to her and went into the tent, and she covered him with a rug. And he said to her, Please give me a little water to drink, because I'm thirsty. And she opened a skin of milk and gave him a drink, and then she covered him. And he said to her, Stand at the door of the tent. If any man comes and asks you, Is there anyone here? Tell him no. But Jael, Heber's wife, took a tent peg and a hammer in her hand and came up quietly to him and drove the peg through his temple, and it went through into the ground, for he was sound asleep and exhausted. So he died. And behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him and said to him, Come on, and I will show you the man whom you are seeking. And he entered her tent with her, and behold, Sisera lay dead with the tent peg in the temple. So on that day God subdued and humbled Jabin, king of Canaan, before the sons of Israel. And the hand of the sons of Israel pressed down heavier and heavier on Jabin, the king of Canaan, until they had destroyed him. I love it. It says, that's interesting. Jael, she was a brave woman. Brave woman to kill the enemy by driving a tent peg through his head. Interesting. All right. Daily Bible chapter reading God's Word Monday through Friday. See you tomorrow.